Hello, everybody. Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal, and welcome back to the Video Marketing Show. I've got a lot lined up for you today. Today, we are going to talk about judgment. Not the kind of judgment you're probably thinking of right now. We're going to be talking more along the lines of how Facebook is judging you. We're going to touch a little bit on YouTube as well, but we're talking about the algorithm today and how your video content is being judged as far as the algorithm is concerned. So, to help you understand what's going to work better for your video content, what's going to help you improve your content and your content direction, we first need to understand what we're being judged on, and that's related to the algorithm. So, today on the Video Marketing Show, I hope that you're going to buckle up, settle in, and ask tons of questions because, yes, I'm going to be pulling your comments up on screen. Let me know that you're here watching. I would love to know if you're here live. I want to say hello to you. I can see a bunch of people popping on right now. And yeah, in the meantime, let's get this party started, shall we? Here. There we go. I'm sorry about that. All right. Welcome back in. Looks like we are having a little bit of a glitch problem here. Isn't that frustrating? And this is definitely on my end when it comes to the stream. So let me know if you're still here. Let me know if you're still in. And in the meantime, I'll just entertain you and keep chatting away. So we're going to be talking about the algorithm and what the algorithm is doing to impact how your video is being seen in the newsfeed, how it's getting its organic distribution, how it's getting viewed, and how it's getting the fuel that it needs to reach the people that you're producing this content for. So thank you. I appreciate this. I'm glad that you're in and checking this out. Yes, we are here. Good. I'm moving things around in my studio. So I've got I'm trying to eliminate the load on my poor little Mac. It's time for an upgrade, let me tell you. So this poor little Mac computer, I've put it through a lot and it's getting glitchy. So as all that was going on, everything was like frozen on my end. I'm like, oh, isn't that fun? Anyhow, and look at, you know what though? I feel like I'm clickbaiting you. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not working. And then getting everybody to comment in here. It's good to see everybody popping in. So I'm going to give you a little teeny sneak peek preview of this is along the lines of what we are going to be chatting about. I'm going to be digging through some of these metrics with you together, looking at video insights, how things are performing, what you need to be paying attention to, and how that's looking. So first, let's talk about the algorithm. The algorithm is the algorithm is a judgment. You guys are making me laugh here. The algorithm is a judgment. You are being judged. Nobody likes being judged, but guess what? We all have to compete for attention span. And are you using Restream? Of course I'm using Restream. This show, by the way, is sponsored by Restream. So if you want to check this out, I highly recommend that you wander on over to thedigitalgal.com/Restream. And you should definitely be checking this out because this studio, let me tell you, the Restream studio is pretty freaking awesome. There is so much you can do in here. All these graphics, all these overlays, it's making it look like I'm doing a lot here on my end, but it's no, it's pretty easy with Restream. So yeah, huge shout out to Restream. All right, so let's dig into this algorithm and talk about what we need to know when it comes to our video content and getting our video content seen. Not only getting our video content seen, but how can we make better videos? And do we need to focus on live videos? Do we need to focus on uploaded videos? What about videos in ads? So there's lots that we can talk about here. And I just keep these comments coming. Robert, you're here. Robert was on yesterday's live stream as well. I've got two shows on the go. One is What in the Ads is Going On, that happens every Wednesday. The other one here is the Video Marketing Show, where you're seeing me right now. So depending on which one we're talking on, one, I'm digging into what the heck is going on with advertising, specifically Facebook advertising. This one, I'm giving you the tools and tricks that you need so that you can improve your content and improve your video marketing for small businesses on a budget. So the reason we talk about these things is because, yes, if you have a mammoth budget and and you can just, walk up to the gates of Facebook and YouTube and Google and just slam a bunch of money on the table, yeah, your content is going to get seen. But for the rest of us that have to actually do the heavy lifting and really work really hard on our content to work not only the paid angle, but the organic angle too, we need to know what's working and we need to know what's not working. So let's dig into some of this content on what's working and what's not. So when we're talking about how the algorithm is judging you and judging your content, there's some metrics that Facebook in particular, we're going to start with Facebook and then we'll touch on YouTube after. There are some metrics that Facebook is ranking you on. So some of that we're going to talk about include things like the percentage of view completion. So when you have a video, people are watching it, how far through to completion are they getting through that video? And if you have an hour-long video, are they only making it through 10% completion? That's still a pretty long watch time in the grand scheme of the ads world or in organic content. So how far through completion are people getting? We're going to be talking about if a video is live or not. You're watching this live. So is this video going to perform better than an uploaded piece of content? How long a video is watched. So there's cumulative watch numbers, and we're going to take a look at those. If someone's choosing to turn sound on or not. So if I'm cruising through your newsfeed right now, and there's no audio and you're not watching this with sound, Facebook is putting auto captions on this. If you're watching this on Facebook, there's lots of people tuning in over on the YouTube side of things, including Big Bear Joe. It's good to see you. Then depending on where you're tuning in from, you're getting auto captions. So you might not need to turn on sound. You can watch and you can just absorb everything that's happening. And other metrics like, is somebody making this video full screen? So are you opening this up and making it full screen and watching this as an immersive experience? Or are you just scrolling on through on your news feed and just kind of catching bits in there? Let's talk about some realistic numbers. So I'm going to walk us on over here into Creator Studio. We're going to start here and throw those questions in, ask those questions if you have. Scott is in the house. Yeah. You're actually happy to see that this show's not on a green screen. Guys, let me tell you, man, the amount of stress related to me going this is your first time seeing me live in a very, very long time, not using a green screen. I'm a green screen addict. I'm addicted to it's like my cocoon, my safety net of consistency of always having my big green screen background. So yes, this was a big deal for me to bust out and actually have a physical, real space right now. So thank you for noticing. Thanks for calling it out, Scott. I appreciate that a ton. Okay, let's do this. Let's dig into some numbers. If you know me, you know I love analytics. You know I love numbers. All right, so let's talk about these insights. So this is Facebook Creator Studio, and you're going to notice Creator Studio has evolved over time. It doesn't look like it did when they first launched Creator Studio. They're jam-packing a lot more features in here. And you're going to notice right away when we're looking at content and the overview of our content, Facebook is really, really highlighting, almost like YouTube, video content and how important that video content is. So right away, they are surfacing right up to the top. They're giving you how many minutes have your videos been viewed. So view time is incredibly important, ranking the health of your channel, your Facebook page, your Facebook content. How many 1-minute views have you had? How many 3-second views? How much video engagement have you had? And how many followers are coming out of that video content? So let's scroll down. This is the overall charts. You can show it by organic versus paid. And in my case, I think I've got a 50-50 split going on. Posted versus cross-posted versus shared. Followers versus non-followers. So I am using paid advertising on my live streams once they're completed. So I pre-promo them. Lots of people popping in here have probably seen some of these pre-promos. And then I also have fans that are followers who are also seeing this content. So I'm getting a healthy mix, a nice 50-50 in here. And then check this out, live versus uploaded. Where are those views coming from? So let's look at, if I go all the way down, let's scroll down here. And we're going to start talking about some of these numbers here, addressing this. Scott, first time without a green screen. I applaud it, embrace it. I am embracing the physical non-green screen. It's hard. And then, oh no. And then Joe is saying, does Restream lag? You just busted out from your cocoon. It means you're a beautiful butterfly. Oh, This is making me smile, guys. Seriously, it was a very big deal for me to let go of my comfort blanket of the green screen. And then very excellent question that you're asking here. Are you explaining YouTube or Facebook? This is Facebook. We're going to take a peek at YouTube near the end of this broadcast as well. I'm going to focus this conversation on the Facebook side, and then we're going to touch on YouTube. But I want to show you how the algorithm matters, and the algorithm is seeing your content differently than how you see your content. You might see your content as in, man, I have a great topic. They're going to love this information, and I just need to share this information out. Well, let me tell you something. I learned something about my last live show, three live shows ago. One that's performing top here. So if we look at what in the ads is going on, I can click on this piece of content or into this, and we're going to look at the numbers. We're going to dig in a little bit deeper. But I learned some things by going back through my analytics on this and understanding, okay, where was my drop-off point? What worked and what didn't? So if we look through here, you can see that this had 1,600 minutes viewed. Personally, you can see if I scroll through my other content, personally, that's a big deal. That's huge for me. I don't normally get those kind of numbers. So the question comes about why? What did I do differently on that live broadcast compared to other ones that got those results? 114 1-minute views, 4,400 3-second views, and 16 engagements. So if I pull this up and open up into this, let's dig in a little bit deeper. These analytics are fabulous for me personally. This is showing me that the views that are happening in here in this video are staying pretty solid. It's not a lot of people watching live, but they're sticking around and they're asking the right questions and they're learning from this. So this tells me that the content that I'm putting out there in this particular video was very useful and people were sticking with it, trying to learn the information that was in it. A lot of the time when you have live video, people kind of cruise in, check things out, and they bounce out. And that's expected. So if you're going to be doing a live video, you're going to want to be live for a minimum of 10 minutes. And that gives enough time for Facebook's algorithm to serve that content out, put those little notifications, sprinkle them like digital confetti, as Stephanie Lou would say, to get that information out there, allow people the chance to pop on your live stream, check you out, and see what's going on. So that's, you want to be live for at least 10 minutes if you're going to be doing live video. And usually in that time, you might have a peak live viewers of 3 people during your live broadcast. That's okay. The real magic is on the replay. So if we cruise on down here, you can see I can get viewer activity. I can see this activity over time. So I can see that my views are growing. You can also come down and check it out here. I can see where these views were coming from. So from recommendations, from my followers, from people sharing this content, or from paid. And so I can see 70% of that was from paid content because I do Facebook ads, I teach Facebook ads, and yes, I put ads on my own content. And then we have engagement. What kind of engagement did we get? Lots of likes, lots of hearts. If you're watching this right now live, and I can see lots of you are, I would love if you could give me a reaction right now. Give it a love, give it a reaction, give it a heart, give it whatever you want. But I want you to throw a reaction in here right now, because when I go back and analyze these numbers, this is going to prove the point that on this particular broadcast, I'm asking you to do that right now. I'm getting a rise out of you right now. And that is going to show up on these reports when I go back and analyze it. I can also analyze by the top region, country, age, and gender. So there is lots going on here. This is, I love this. This is great info. Thank you. Just subbed, 104th subscriber. Yay! Everyone's got to start somewhere, and you are helping me on my journey. So thank you very much. I'm hoping that I can help you with really good information and show you how you can make your content perform for you with the algorithm. So let's talk about some of these numbers. Let's talk about this. We have this lovely panel on the right-hand side that you're seeing here. I know it's probably pretty tiny on your screen, but just bear with me here. We want to talk about the algorithm and how the algorithm is viewing your content. On this right-hand side, this is a fairly new piece that just Facebook just kind of rolled this part out. I want to say it's definitely within the last year. I want to say like in the last 6 months, but this distribution summary. So this summary is basically giving you an idea of how the algorithm feels about you and your content. So this is saying in this case, this particular video was getting 5 times higher distribution than posts within 8 days of publishing. What this is doing is it is ranking how your content is performing relative to your own content and relative to the same time decay. So right now I'm ranking a video. I'm looking at a video that I did 8 days ago. So 8 days ago, um, how has my content continued to perform or drop off compared to my other content at the 8-day mark? And it's saying that this particular video has had 5 times higher distribution compared to other videos at the 8-day mark post publishing. So this is good to know. I got 6.5 more 1-minute views, 1.5 more average view time, and all these numbers are up, 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 up. 7.4 times more shares. How did I make this happen? It's a combination of metrics, a very big combination of metrics. This is great. I love everybody popping in here and the fact that you're commenting. I'm so happy you're here. There's the fact that there's no hearts in YouTube. It's okay. The fact that you're commenting and present in here is a reaction. It's huge. So thank you. Thank you for being here. So how does all of this information that I'm showing you, this distribution summary, how does that impact how your content is being delivered organically or through ads? Well, let's talk about some of these numbers here for a moment. I'm going to turn the screen share off for 1 second. We are going to come back into it, and then I'm going to show you part of the information that I learned, sort of like the drop-off point in my content on that particular video, so we can learn from it, so you can make your content even better. So when we're talking about the algorithm and how it's seeing your content, let's talk about Facebook, how Facebook sees that video. And that Facebook is ranking percentage of completion. They're ranking whether a video is live or not. Clearly, this one is live. So if a video is live or not, live gets ranked higher. It gets a lot more love. It takes guts to go live. It fosters engagement. The fact that you're here, you're showing up, you're watching this live, and you're commenting, that's engagement that's happening right now, right here, right now. The engagement that's happening is because I can talk to you right now. I can call you out by name. I can bring your comments up on screen. I can engage with you right on the spot. There's so much more that you can do in a live video that you cannot do when it comes to recorded video. Oh my gosh, you guys are guys, you're making me so happy right now. Look at all the comments running through. Thank you. But you see, this kind of engagement you can't get when it comes to uploaded video. It's not the same. Yes, there are tools that Facebook has, like watch parties, which I think are going away, by the way, that make it seem like it's live. You can watch with people and comment and engage in real time, but it's not the same. So when it comes to whether a video is live or not, that's going to definitely impact how the algorithm is viewing that content and how it's prioritized for delivery. So if Facebook is sitting on a pile of 10 recorded videos that have really good content that are from pages that are very well regarded, but then all of a sudden a live video pops into the mix and Facebook has to decide, okay, so do we serve out these, do we stick these pre-records into the newsfeed of these people, or do we just scrap all of that, shove this live video in everybody's face, in everybody's feed? They're going to prioritize the live video because the live video brings conversation just like this back and forth. And we can see that reflected in our metrics, in our numbers. And how long you're going live for, how long people are watching, how long they're sticking around is very important. So then when we talk about other metrics that matter, and seeing that it's how long a video is watched. So how long are people actually sitting here start to finish watching through this content, choosing to turn sound on or not? And this is important, not just while I'm live right now talking to you. This is also important on the replay. So if somebody sees content scrolling through their newsfeed and they're going through and they see a video, they can stop and hover over it for several seconds. You could stop on your newsfeed, stop the scroll, and watch that content for 5 minutes, just reading the captions, and then move on your way. They never opened it. They never played the video with sound. They never turned on sound. Turning on sound is a huge signal to the algorithm. It's a very important metric. If somebody is choosing to open up your video full screen, if they're choosing to turn sound on, all of those are metrics that are being taken into account on the Facebook ad side, on the Facebook side of things, to let Facebook know that, hey, this content is performing quite well. We should continue delivering this out to more people to see if more people are also interested in this. So the more you can cater your content into these areas that encourage people to go full screen, encourage people to turn sound on, encourage people to watch longer. So one of the things that I did differently in this video compared to one of my last videos is, let me show you that screen share again here. Let's pull this up. If we cruise on down, let's go down here. You can see audience retention. So obviously there's a lot of people that are being shown this video, and a lot of it through advertising as well. So a lot of people are being exposed to this, not this video that we're live with right now, but this one that we're analyzing on the screen here. You can see at the top, a ton of people are being shown that video, but they are dropping off pretty big time. And they're dropping off at the 1 minute 42 second mark. So over here, we can go over to retention. Let's take a little peek over here. Retention. It drops off like a cliff. What? But where does it drop off? Notice this. So I can actually play through this video and I can see these different drop off points. And through here, I know that at the 1 minute 42 second mark, I can come along here and see how my other content is performing, different drop off points. But right here, it drops off when I bring up an overlay and a plug for Restream, because yes, this show is sponsored by Restream, and Restream is what I'm using to do this broadcast with right now. So what I did is that at the beginning, I started out the show and I launched into the little video reel that plays in front, the little video bumper. And then right away, I went into, hey, if you are watching this, it's sponsored by Restream, giving a shout out to the sponsor. That was my drop off point. So that's not to say don't give a shout out to the sponsor. What that is to say, though, is I myself as a content creator can rebalance how I'm presenting this information so I can cater to the algorithm, what the algorithm wants, and to my retention numbers. So if I'm paying attention to retention, then I have a higher ability to capture attention spans, keep people hanging out even longer. Oh my gosh, huge shout out to Chad. I can't believe you're watching. You sound awesome, sis. Oh, he calls me sis. We're basically like cross-border family. I'm like the Canadian sister, and Chad and Lainey are like the American family that I really wish were actually my real family. Don't get me wrong, real family, love you. These guys are awesome. Yes. And it's so great that you guys are commenting and engaging on this, because I'm going to be showing these analytics on the next show. Speaking of that, by the way, before we dig in more on analytics and numbers, I also want to give you the opportunity to win some cool stuff, because I like to give things away. We all know that, right? So if you want a chance to win something, I happen to have another Facebook portal that I'm going to be giving away. Why am I saying another? Because last week I gave away a Facebook portal to someone who joined my email list so that you can get notified when these shows are going live. So congratulations to the last winner, Dina Pruitt. She's going to be receiving her Facebook portal along with a bunch of Digital Gal goodies in the mail very shortly here. But yeah, I'm giving away another one of these. So if you want a chance to win a Facebook portal, an actual real Facebook portal, which is what I use for all of my social life, when I'm not on Zoom all day long with clients, when I'm not streaming with Restream, I'm hanging out with my actual best friends over on Facebook portal, where you don't have to be glued in front of a screen like this. You can actually walk around and the camera will follow you. It feels like you're in the room with the person. Knowing our current global circumstances, it's kind of nice when you can feel like your friends are in the same room as you. So anyway, if you want to enter, head on over to thedigitalgal.com/contest. I will be drawing for the next one on, I believe, March 5th is when I'm drawing for the next one. So if you want your shot at getting that, you can get in on that. And again, like I mentioned, sponsored by Restream. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but if you haven't had the chance to actually sign up for Restream and go in and check out their live studio, it's freaking stellar. It's amazing. So I'm very grateful that I have the access to these tools, and you should definitely go and check that out. Okay. Heading back over to talk more and geek out with you more on these analytics. So when we go back, let's go all the way back here to this content and how this content is performing. So one thing I want to point out is that 1, 2, 3, these 3 top performing video posts right here, those are all live videos. So when we want to talk about how well content performs, we also have to take into account engagement. So when Facebook is ranking what's performing well and what's not, it's looking for engagement. And engagement is a like, a click, a comment, a share. And in this case, because we're talking video content, it's also taking into account whether somebody is turning the sound on, making it full screen, and how long they're watching the video. And then did they turn on high definition or not? So all of these options, they play in very heavily into engagement. And when you're getting engagement, when you're getting these numbers here, notice how the difference between these are uploaded videos. These are videos that I produce for YouTube, and then I've just uploaded them onto Facebook as well. It's good, valuable content, but it has been built for YouTube, not built for Facebook. But I'm putting it out on my Facebook page as well. Well, those uploaded videos, and the length of them are roughly 15 to 20 minutes each. No, they're kind of long, but there's lots of good info packed in there. They're not performing as well. Why aren't they performing as well? Well, they're not performing as well because they're not getting as much engagement. So the lack of comments and engagement means that it's not getting the organic distribution and circulation that it deserves or that it could use. So what can I do about this? Well, I could take this content, and in this case, I'm talking about one of them is your Facebook ads getting restricted. One is the special ad categories and how that impacts your ads, and another one is Facebook ads rejected and what to do about that. So when we look at those pieces of content, technically, I could recreate that content and do it in a live video. So it's not like I have to recreate the wheel and serve out this content, come up with completely different content out of the blue. I can recycle the same content. I can just package it differently and deliver it differently. The same goes for if I have video content that is like an ad, for example, ads content. So ads content is you might have something you're putting out as an advertisement and it's not really that exciting, right? And you might have a static image that you're using as an ad. You could take that exact same image, that same static image, and you could put it into a video tool, any kind of video tool, such as I'm using InVideo, I use Camtasia, and convert that into sort of an animated little video clip. That counts toward video. So how people are engaging with that video is impactful and it matters. It's going to matter not only to your organic distribution, it's going to matter to your ad costs. So if you're continuing to produce video content that is not catering to what the algorithm is judging you for, and you're doing it based on your gut feel, oh, I feel like this is going to perform well, or I feel like this video looks good, or I feel like people need to see my logo in the first 30 seconds or 3 seconds of this video. Well, you might feel that way. The algorithm's judging you. And guess what? The algorithm is what decides who gets to see your content and who doesn't. So yes, unfortunately, we do have to cater to the algorithm. Speaking of algorithm, let's talk a little bit about I just had to pull that up. I just can't not pull that up. Thank you. So then speaking of algorithm, we have to talk about the YouTube algorithm as well. So on the YouTube side of things, it operates a little bit differently than the YouTube algorithm operates a little differently than the Facebook algorithm. So Facebook is prioritizing certain things and YouTube is prioritizing certain things. But these platforms function differently. And that's why when I was showing you that content, let me pull that back up again here. When I'm showing you this content, these guys here, like I said, these are videos I produced for YouTube. I did not create them with Facebook in mind. I created them with YouTube in mind. Yes, I came over here and I put them on Facebook. No, they did not perform very well. And I didn't expect them to. Whereas these live videos are produced for Facebook. They are intended for Facebook, and I'm catering to Facebook's algorithm when I produce these. So, of course, they are going to perform better. They're going to get higher engagement. So, I'm catering to the algorithm. So, when we talk about the YouTube algorithm versus Facebook's algorithm, they're two different platforms. They fundamentally function differently. One of them is a search platform where you're intentionally going in, you are typing things in and searching for terms and looking specifically for information. You are seeking out specific information, or you're just browsing video content based on your past behaviors and patterns. And that's excellent as well. And then the other ones, you can guess that was YouTube. And then the other one, Facebook, that one is prioritizing everything based on a whole lot of other metrics, but it's not a search platform necessarily, even though sometimes they want to be. Really what's happening is it's an algorithmic prioritization platform. So it's going to prioritize things throughout the algorithm, slide them in your feed, and it's a browse intent. So not search intent like YouTube, it's browse intent, where you're sitting there and you are just swiping through, browsing through an endless feed that is constantly reprioritizing, sorting that information for you in the background. So Facebook is passive, where you're just scrolling through. And so your content has to be scroll stopping. It has to be eye catching. It has to be relevant, and it has to cater to these algorithmic signals. On YouTube, if I was watching YouTube, I like how I'm making my screen, like on that of my screen, I have Facebook. On this side of my screen, I have YouTube. YouTube is ranking things a little bit differently. So some of those important signals that YouTube is looking for are whether people are clicking on a video, aka impressions versus views. Thumbnail and title are important. How much time people spend watching a video. So that's very similar to Facebook. So you can see how Facebook has been shifting to be kind of a little more like its YouTube counterpart, because they're both competing for attention spans and wanting to retain people within their platforms longer without losing people off to other platforms. So view time actually matters. How much time people are spending watching your videos matters. And then this is interesting. What I want to point out about this one, how quickly a video's popularity snowballs. How quickly, in other words, from the time it was launched and when it was posted, how quickly does it accumulate momentum? How many people are actually watching it? How many people are engaging with that video? So that momentum on YouTube really matters. Now, I know we're talking video, but I want to point out, I'm going to stop that screen share and share another one with you, because I want to keep talking about momentum. So end that share. Let me share another screen. Let's go Chrome tab and let's share this one here. Okay. And switch that on. All right. So here, yeah, and I am bearing all, everybody. You are seeing me without a green screen. You are seeing behind the scenes on my analytics. You are seeing behind the scenes on my insights. I've got nothing to hide. So you're seeing it all right now. And we've got Stephanie Lou in the house. Stephanie, it's great to see you. Oh my gosh, you're here. We're giving you a shout out earlier in the show. All right. So when we're looking at this information here, I wanted to talk about that snowball effect. And what you're seeing on this screen here, this is my Facebook page insights. And we're going to talk about that snowball effect that YouTube is favoring. The same thing happens on Facebook with your organic content. And you'll notice how what drives that organic reach forward is purely hinged on engagement. So within the first hour or so of you dropping that content, did that content get engagement from anybody? Did it? So what Facebook is doing, it essentially takes, you drop a piece of content, Facebook wanders on out there with that piece of content, kind of like a giant appetizer that it's like sampling out to your followers, being like, anybody, you want some of this? Anybody, you want to take a little sample of this? Yes, take a little bite. Watch 15 seconds. Yeah. That's what Facebook is doing with that content, circulating it out to just a small sample of your followers, the people who've already put their hand up and said, I'm interested in this content, I want to follow it. So Facebook circulates that little snippet of content out there that you just dropped, and within the first hour or so, if nobody is nibbling on it, nobody's biting on it, no one's engaging with it, then Facebook goes, I don't think we're going to give this a lot of organic momentum. We're going to demote this in the newsfeed. It's not as high priority as this other content over here with this other creator, where we sampled out just a tiny little snippet sample of that post that they just dropped, and people are eating it up. They are liking it. They are reacting with the laugh emoji. They are commenting on it. They are sharing it with their friends. That is a snowball. That is momentum. And that momentum matters. And that momentum is what breathes life into getting that content seen in the algorithm, with the algorithm, getting it seen in the newsfeed. If you don't have that level of momentum going on, then essentially what you're doing is you're creating a lot of digital noise. You're creating content that goes out, gets sampled out, nobody wants it, they send it all back to the kitchen, and then it just sits there on a platter, on a tray by itself, just decaying. And that's what's happening to your content. So I know that's not necessarily directly video content, what I just explained there, but that is how the algorithm works. It's sampling, it's giving you a shot. It's letting your content have a shot. And if people aren't taking the actions that are necessary, then it's getting demoted, and it's just living a cobweb laden life on your page itself, where people have to actually go seek out, scroll down, dig for it. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do that. We rely on that organic momentum. And if you can't have that organic momentum, the paid side of things is what you can leverage. Again, I'm not recommending that you go and put paid advertising on a giant dead weight. Don't be doing that. But if something does have that momentum behind it, that organic momentum that is fueling it, Go take some advertising dollars and go and chuck it on that fire, and it will burn even hotter. It's going to get you even more momentum. It's so phenomenal when you get that this like magic that happens when you have that kind of impact happening with your content, and then you just jack it right up and leverage some paid advertising on top of it. Beautiful. It's beautiful. I recommend it. Don't try and put paid advertising on dead weight. It's not worth it. You're wasting your money. It's not good. So, all of these signals matter. So, when it comes to creating this video content on the Facebook side of things, you want to see percentage of completion. You want to see whether a video was live or not. So, live content matters. You need to be sprinkling in some live content. How long a video has been watched for. Are people taking actions like turning on the sound? Are they making the video full screen? Are they turning on high definition? Those are signals that are important to the algorithm on the Facebook side. On the YouTube side, how often is a channel uploading videos? So if you show up out of the blue and you upload a video to your YouTube channel, once at Christmas time, and then you ghost your channel for a year, and then you get back around to it, I know somebody who's kind of guilty of doing that. Yes, I just started back up in December. Yes, there's now weekly content going out on YouTube. So if you are watching this on YouTube, big shout out, and big shout out, yeah. And so how often are you actually showing up and putting that content out there? That matters to YouTube. How much time people spend on the platform after watching a video session. So that's important to YouTube. That's very important. So if you send someone to go and watch a video on YouTube from your channel and they watch that video, excellent. And they watch it from start to finish, even more excellent. But then on top of that, if somebody stays on the platform and continues to go on and watch other videos, that's extremely important. So YouTube is basically giving you like points for doing that. That's huge. So the algorithm matters. Out of all of these things that I'm showing you, out of all these numbers that I'm trying to share with you, let me just jump back into the screen share. Which tab? Let's go over back to Creator Studio. Out of all these numbers that I'm showing you and sharing with you, these metrics matter by platform. So when you're trying to take video content that you think is good, and you are trying to, like, these YouTube videos, for example, I know this is Facebook, but I put YouTube videos I created for YouTube, I jam them on Facebook. They're okay. They're all right. They're getting some action, but they're not getting nearly as much action as my live videos. So what the whole bottom line is, if you want your content to perform better and you're on a shoestring budget and you don't have a high production, you don't have a lot of production value to work with, or production budget to work with. This is great. Everybody that's popping in here, I just want to give some shout outs. Thank you so much. Then you have to play the algorithm game, because you can't rely 100% on the ad dollars to push all of this forward for you. You need to invest into looking at your analytics, looking at your metrics, and looking at how well your video content is performing. Cater your video content to the platform. So when it comes to Facebook, I do have another metric, actually, another screen share that I am going to share with you. I wasn't going to share this, but I've decided I'm going to share it because, like I said, I'm just sharing all. I'm showing you behind the scenes on pretty much everything. Here we go. I'm going to share this tab with you over here. Share. And yes, this is Restream Studio. I freaking love it. Oh, it's so good. It looks so good. All right, so this is ad content. So let's look at let's go with these guys. Let's go filter by selection. So these are Facebook ads that we're looking at here. And what I have this ranking by is in this columns breakdown here, I'm looking at video engagement. This is inside Facebook's ads manager, by the way. So I'm looking at video engagement. And what we're looking for is the number of 3-second plays versus number of 10-second plays, through plays, which is considered a 15-second play. And then all the way up into percentage of completion. How many people made it through 25% views, 50% views, 75%, all the way to 100% views. So these metrics, what the point that I'm trying to give you with this information here is that you need to manage your expectations when it comes to the video content you're producing and the attention spans. I know darn well that there's quite a few of you who are still watching this live, and I'm glad that you're here. and you're sticking it out. You're here for the long haul. You're awesome. But that's the people who are here live. There are going to be hundreds, probably thousands, because I'm going to chuck some paid ads on this video after. There are going to be hundreds to thousands of people who get shown this video, but they're only going to watch the first 10, 15 seconds of it, and then they're going to drop off. Every single one of these metrics matter. So the amount of people making it, I have 13,000 for whatever campaigns I'm ranking here. 13,000 people watch 3 seconds or more of those videos. If I go all the way to the 15-second mark, only 2,000 out of those 13,000, only 2,000 of them made it to the 15-second mark. How many of them actually made it to 95% completion? 1,000. And that's because this pre-promo, I have one video here that's performing decently well because the pre-promo is kind of funny. Let me show you a preview of this. So again, I'm catering my video content to, I gotta go in one more level. I'm catering my video content to the platform. So I know in this case, getting 3 seconds or more of someone to watch a video is hard. And getting somebody to watch all the way to completion is hard. If we're looking at these signals on the view through and views to completion and how important that is to the algorithm, produce shorter content that will get people to watch all the way to the end. So in this case, this was a video promo. And you can see it's just doing something a little bit different. It's doing something it's a little more scroll stopping, eye catching, making people go, wait, what the heck is going on here? Oh, there we go. That's the advertisement for this particular show that you're watching live right now. That was circulating. That was the end of it. Now it's looped. Super short. So of course, I'm going to have an easier time getting people to watch 95% completion. 1,000 of those people made it all the way to 95% completion of that video. Fabulous. Whereas I only had on this other one down here, I only had 94 people make it all the way to 95%, and that was off of 1,800 3-second plays. So the drop off is real. But the important thing is knowing your audience, knowing who you're serving this content to, making scroll stopping content for the platform that it's being delivered to. So it's easier if you're producing a video for YouTube. It's much easier to have the beginning, a punchy opening, explaining everything that somebody is going to learn within that training or within that video. And then you can have a nice big long intro opener, and then you can get into the meat of the content. Facebook, you got to flip the script. You got to flip it around. You have to capture that attention. You got to get people past that first 15 seconds and sticking it out with you. And if you don't, you're going to lose them. If you lose them, it's sending signals to the algorithm to say, meh, this content isn't as good as it could be. So you can see how, depending on the platform you're putting this content on, the algorithm really does matter, and it absolutely is judging you. Not necessarily a bad judgment, not necessarily a good judgment, but it's a game that we all have to play. We have to cater to the algorithm, and we have to produce content that caters to it. How do we know what's working and what's not? You have to go and look at the numbers. You have to go review your results. You can't just put it out there and see that, oh, it reached 1,000 people and go, okay, well, let's try and beat our reach numbers every time. It's not all about the reach numbers. It's about the quality of that content. It's about all of these signals that play into it, that the retention time, the total cumulative minutes viewed. These metrics matter. If you're not looking back at these metrics, you're not paying attention to where those drop-off points are happening. You're not paying attention to where you're losing people's attention span. These things matter, and you can influence and change. I changed my habits in this broadcast for that particular reason, because when I showed in that last video, I don't have it pulled up on here. When I showed in that last video, when I brought up an overlay for giving a plug to Restream, that's when I lost everybody. We know that this show is sponsored by Restream. We know that they are freaking awesome, and I'm loving their Restream studio. But that taught me as a creator that, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to pull up the overlays the way that I did, because that's where I lost everyone's attention span. And I'm not going to heavy load it at the beginning of my broadcast. I'm going to put that further to the end, such as I'm doing exactly right now. So by learning from your metrics and understanding what's working with the algorithm, what's not. Oh, and by the way, it changes like all the time. So keeping current with things like watching the video marketing show and learning what's current, what's not will be helpful. But the bottom line is you need to go back and look at your analytics, look at your numbers. Don't just judge a book by its cover. Don't judge it based on one metric alone. Paint a full picture. Look at things like your video distribution analytics, which I'll pull up one more time for you here. I'm sharing among a whole bunch of different tabs here. So that's why I'm skipping around. Chrome Creator Studio. Back in here. Let's go back into this top one right here and screen share right here. So I'm talking you through that right on the right hand side here, this video distribution summary. Pay attention to these numbers, try and beat your own scores. So this is it's telling you right here, essentially Facebook is telling you what's important to the algorithm. It's saying right here, 1 minute video views, average view time, reactions, comments, and shares. If it's showing you this information right up front and center and telling you that is how it is breaking down your distribution summary. If you want more distribution, put more work into creating content that's going to get more 1 minute views, more average video view time compared to your other videos, more reactions, more people commenting, reacting, more comments, and shareable content. So when I look at this piece of content in particular, and you're looking at this big graph up here, this big graph looks a lot different than some of my other videos, and people are sticking through longer because the nature of what I was teaching this was business manager. And for the few people, this isn't a topic that necessarily is talking to the masses, but to the people who this is important to and who are actually wanting to know, okay, how do I actually properly set up my Facebook business manager? For those people, it was a full in-depth tutorial going into everything you could possibly imagine. So the retention is huge. Getting the volume of minutes watched on this was huge. So when I go back over here, the number of minutes viewed, I had 1,600 minutes viewed. That's unusual for me for my content, but it's because I did content a little bit differently and it worked. It didn't necessarily pull huge numbers of the volume of people watching. Like my peak live viewers, I think was only like 17, but the quality of the content and the shareability, I had so many more shares on this piece of content compared to others because it's valuable content that people felt important, felt the need to share out. Whereas some of my other content, let's go look at one of these ones, for example, special ad categories. And let's look at retention. It's a lot different. If I look at my distribution summary on this one, my average, and this is again ranking my video content with time decay included. So this is ranking it 21 days. I published this 21 days ago. So it's comparing it to all of my other videos that I published and ranking it at the 21-day mark after it was published. And it's saying that this particular piece of content, and again, this video was built for YouTube, not for Facebook, but I put it on Facebook. It's showing that it had 1.5 less 1 minute views compared to my other videos at the 21-day mark, 2.1 times less average view time, 4.6 times less reactions. Clearly not eliciting a lot of reactions out of people. So, and it had 1.8 times more shares. So at least I know the content was valuable and it was shareable compared to my other content at the 21-day mark. So by looking back on these metrics, understanding what they mean to you, paying attention to these numbers, it's going to get you a lot further, especially on a shoestring budget or on a lower. If you're not looking to spend a lot of money to pay to play your way up to reaching your audiences, the organic side is very, very useful. And in order to achieve that, you need to be playing the algorithm game. You need to understand the algorithms better, and you need to create that content that caters to it, not just to what your gut feels, not to your gut feel, but to what's actually working and what's actually not working. All right, so we're going to be wrapping this up soon, but before I do that, I want to give you the opportunity. I'm going to throw this one up here. If you want a shot at winning a Facebook portal, again, I always actually find a spot on my desk for this because I keep putting it on the floor. If you want a shot at winning a Facebook portal, then you definitely want to head on over to thedigitalgal.com/contest, enter your email information in there. That subscribes you to my email list so you can get notified when I'm going live and what the topics of these broadcasts are. I go live twice a week, 2 different shows. One is what in the ads is going on. The other one is this one that you're watching right now, the video marketing show. So if you want to keep up to date on what's happening with that, sign up for that newsletter and get a shot at winning the portal. Congratulations to Dina Pruitt, who won the portal that I gave away 2 weeks ago. Time is flying. Anyway, this one's being given away on the 5th, March 5th. So good luck, your chance of winning that. And then the prize is going to be changing up, and I will have other prizes in there for you too. Yeah, with that, again, huge shout out to our sponsor, Restream. If you want to check this out, if you want to learn how to start doing more on the live broadcasting side, Restream is definitely going to be the way to help you reach your audiences, where you can multi-stream on multiple platforms. That's how we have people popping in all the way over on YouTube. We've got like Stephanie from Facebook, for example, over here. We've got Glenn from New Zealand. There, we've got some people tuning in from YouTube. We've got Harry over here from YouTube. That's all because of Restream. So thank you everyone who's watching this. Thank you to Restream for sponsoring this. And we are going to be live again here, same time, same place next week, but make sure you sign up for those notifications. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I am Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal, and this is the Video Marketing Show.